everyone, today I'll be reviewing V for Vendetta starring Natalie Portman and Hugo Weaving, and this movie is directed by James McTaggart, and this movie is based on a graphic novel by Alan Moore. And this movie is one of my most favorite adopted movie of all time probably. This movie was I've seen this movie so many times, but every time I see this it's so fascinating each time I watch this movie, especially the performance from Hugo Weaving. I can't forget his performance. He's so amazing in this movie, especially the way he delivers each dialogue in this movie. It's like he's giving a poetry lesson or something. I can't get over how good he was in this movie. Also, I see a lot of people complain Natalie Portman, she pretending to be an English girl in this movie. I must admit, when she first started talking, I was like, she did sound a little weird. Her accent didn't felt right. But as this movie progresses, I thought she really gave amazing performance by Hugo Weaving as well. So I see why they chose her, because she's end of the day very good actress, and back in the day she used to pick really good roles. There's a reason why everybody loved her. These days she's picking all the sad roles. I don't know why, but anyway, this movie, I'm pretty sure everybody will love this movie for different reasons. Their reason might be different from me, and I think overall most people will agree this movie was really well done. It's very well edited and directed from James McTaggart. I might be saying this name wrong. And this movie is written by the Wachowski's sibling, the people from the Matrix trilogy. They're the one who wrote this movie. Probably might be they're the one who made it. But I thought their work in this movie, you can see it. It's the action scenes were so cool. And you have to remember, this movie came out in 2005, so it was a long time ago. When I think about it, all the action scene really still looks so cool, and this movie is still so relevant. And this movie's like all the political view, you don't have to agree with all of them, but they do feel very relevant, and you don't have to act on it, definitely. But I thought this movie was really very well made, and I still love this movie so much. And if this movie came out today, I don't think it would have gotten Rotten Tomato fresh rating. People will be hate on this movie, why we're saying this. But this movie, you have to remember, it is a fictional movie. It's fictional, these characters are fictional, and people shouldn't be taking this for real, you know what I mean? That being said, when this movie first started, I really thought, back when I watched it, I thought the B character, he will become Batman, he will be saving people and he will stop the crime. But this is not what he is there for. Once he saved Natalie Portman, I was like, is that what he's gonna do the whole movie? But he's not here to do those things. He has his own game, and especially what I found this movie, wow, he never took off his mask even at once. You know what I mean? That this movie left you feeling like we haven't seen his face. The other thing is, every time I watched this movie, when he started talking, Hugo Weaving, I kept picturing his face from the Matrix movie, you know what I mean? Because that's how we see him. He was so cool on those Matrix trilogy, you know what I mean? So every time he gave those fascinating dialogue in this movie, kept picturing his face from Matrix trilogies, that face, Agent, what is his name? Oh, I forgot, Agent K, or I forgot the name, but that's what he reminded me. But I think I got really, the reason I really love this movie so much is I feel him, his character, what is his coming from, his sadness, what is he trying to do, and and the Natalie Portman character was also really, she's really very well written, supporting character in this movie. I really like both of these characters so much. All the villain in this movie, they're so bad, you know what I mean? You do feel you do instantly hate them. So that is also really good writing here, because that's how you should feel for a bad guy. Also, I really enjoy the inspector character, especially in one counter when he said, like he said, why didn't you come forward? Like when he was giving all this information to the inspector, and he said, why didn't you come forward with this information earlier? And he said like, I've been waiting for you, inspector. And that line was like so the inspector storyline is very well written here as well. Overall, all these characters are really well written. And I see that Alan Moore, he didn't like this movie. He said in his interview, he said they didn't do justice to his story. And like I hear that the metric, I can't say the name, Wosiski, whatever, they try to make this more Americanized so people feel connected to this story. Which is, I understand. It is understandable because like we are the audience from here. You can just throw up stuff at us, and like so I do understand why they will be adapted from based on people here. They're the audience. But overall, it's really worth checking out, guys. If you haven't seen this movie, it's really good. It does have a lot of political message, because this is one of the movie, like I think one of the movie ever that is a political movie, but I really loved it. Normally I don't like any political movie. They're not my cup of tea. They're always lying. Most politicians, they do. So I don't really enjoy those movies, and yet I see a lot of politician movie. Did you guys see the last one, the Hugh Jackman one? Came out last year. It was like him having an affair or something, the Hugh Jackman. Yeah, that one movie was like, oh. Anyway, still this movie is a comic book movie, I suppose, and like this movie do justice to its story, and these characters are really interesting, especially V's character is so fascinating, and like I just loved his character so much, and his view on this world is based on what he has faced in the past, which is understandable. It's funny though, this movie reminded so much me of a Joker movie. Like the movie came out last year. It has quite similarity because like the way I can't say the way I did feel like this two has so much similarity that I can't understand. Like you do see their point of view, you know what I mean? Like and like why they're doing what they're doing doesn't mean they are right or wrong. It just you just see their part of story, I thought. Overall, I really love this movie. I will always love this movie, and like even after 20 years or so, because this movie is really good. If you haven't checked it out, please check out, and please leave your comment. You think this is one of the like best DC? It's not based on DC comic. I meant like comic book movie ever. Or like, what do you think? Or it's like too political? It is a political movie, but in a good way, I suppose. It's so enjoyable. That is my thought on this movie. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed my review, don't forget to subscribe, and please take care.